afternoon all, or morning, or whatever time you're watching it. Maybe I shouldn't angle, but fuck it, we read. So, you've all seen some of the videos of the Roofaru, some of the struggles that we've had with it. So yeah, I've just thought I'd give you a bit of a walk around really. So it's nice, short and sweet. A bit of editing probably, maybe. Might leave it unedited. Gives you that better footage. So, story behind the car. It's a naturally aspirated 2 litre EJ20. You're looking about 115 to 130 brake on a good day, depending on which engine's in it. At the moment it's got a sport special engine in there, which is basically a bit more uprated. Same scenario, no turbo. So it's a fake Subaru in a lot of purists' eyes. But yeah, saved the car a couple of years back from being scrapped, or broken to bits, should I say. And yeah, a lot of hard work, sweat, blood, tears, everything went into this car to get it where it is at the moment. There's still a lot of work to be done to it, but again, it's all on the to-do list. Yeah, its first engine, original engine should I say, that originally had a fault on it where it had no compression, which is quite weird really, because when we brought the car up, when we were actually bringing the car home, just switch that off, when we were bringing the car home, it was running on all 4 cylinders, which was quite weird. The day that it was meant to, well, the day it was coming home, a lot of people knew it was coming. Some people knew of the issue, but again, very sceptical. Thought it wasn't actually going to make it back from Nottingham, which is where the car was bought from. I'm just going to jump in here, guys. Yeah, got the car from Nottingham, convoyed all the way up with, well, I would say a friend, but yeah, we won't go into that one. Which is a shame really, because she's the one who helped me buy it, because she was my partner. Yeah, so got the car back. Obviously a bit of a stressful time really, because money that needed to pay back for the car and other things was also going on the car, because my vehicle that I had at the time was dying on me. It was on its last legs, it was on its 3rd gearbox, and yeah, just was not playing ball that much anymore. So 2 months of this thing got off the road, being sat at one of her relatives' driveways. Bless them, they were really patient with it. Sourced an engine, he helped me go and pick it up, and then literally on one weekend it was D-Day. Old engine came out, new engine had all the goodies put on it from the original engine, obviously like all your ancillaries etc, basically, just standard shit. Put the engine in, ran great, perfect, brilliant. Over that time, tweaked the engine, better injectors, air induction, tried updating my cooling, fuel pump, which I've also got now another fuel pump which is even better, which needs to go in, because I think the one that I've got is starting to give up on me, or it's got a shit connection, one of them two, but the car stutters now and again. So yeah, basically just a lot of, like I say, there's not much you can really do with an NA EJ20. I mean, you can mod them slightly. The later models map better and mod better. This one's more bolt-on mods, but you've got to throw a lot of money into them to do that. So like, you can supercharge them, and it'll put you around about the same brake horsepower roughly as a WRX of the same era, maybe a bit more. It just depends exactly what you've done to the car prior to it. It's never had a map, not got a piggyback chip on it or anything else like that. This is just literally, as soon as I got that engine in, which was technically the first engine in my ownership, but obviously the second engine in the actual car's life, as far as I know. Yeah, engine ran great for well over a year. Obviously, as well as with any old car, maintenance, etc. So brakes, bearings, just general bits really, body works, just stuff to do to it, which I've hacked away at as best as possible, like in the time I've had it. And then the clutch went on me. Well, I thought it was the clutch, but it turned out to be the clutch fork. The clutch fork had actually basically on the pivot point, the clutch fork had just basically split on the pivot point, so it just wasn't giving any leverage for the clutch, which was quite lucky really, because the car came home that day, and the moment I put it in reverse, that's when I felt the clutch go straight to the floor, where I thought again the clutch had gone. So I had to stall my own car against a large high up curb and scrape my exhaust. Great. So, long story short, sourced about clutch, new clutch kit, etc. Because again, at this time, I thought it was clutch, so I thought, right, instead of messing about getting everything out and having everything in the air for the time being and obviously exposed, I'll wait till the clutch comes. So clutch came, brilliant. Obviously, arranged for a bit of help. Obviously, engine crane, bits and bats like that. Now, thankfully, the help I needed was only more to get the engine back in. So, got the engine out for a bit of time off from work. At the time, thankfully, I was self-employed, so there wasn't really any major repercussions from it. And again, this vehicle was bought specifically as a work vehicle. To be fair, it's retiring a little bit more as a work vehicle now. It's actually more of a leisurely vehicle, but we've got something else in mind for the future for that one. So yeah, basically went to change the clutch, found it wasn't the clutch, which was a bit, well, it was devastating. So anyway, long story short, ordered the part that we needed, as well as other bits that were additional for it, like clips for the thrust bearing, etc., etc. Clutch realignment tool, because it said it was going to come in the box, but it never did with from the XCD Pink clutch kit. This vehicle also, as I found out at the time of this, which I didn't really know because I just swapped everything off the old engine to the new one. It's actually got a UK 2000 lightened flywheel on it. So obviously it's got an uprated clutch system basically. So that's probably why it feels a little bit more pokey to myself, like considering I have driven turboed versions of highly modified turboed versions. I've driven just standard turbo versions, and obviously I've driven a few sports. Again, like I say, sports they're not really worth much to a purist, but again, they're still a good fun car, really, in my eyes, and a lot of people would probably agree. Some people would agree as a purist, but they just don't want to admit it. So basically, yeah, put the new clutch in, put it all back together. Brilliant, fantastic. Back at work for 3-4 weeks. Car was running great. On our way back from a little leisure drive, I noticed my temperature jumped up on the gauge. So I'm like, shit, steam were pouring out the car. So I'm like, oh bugger. So got the car home, went to diagnose it. Turned out that the gasket had failed on the water pump, which is sod's law, really, isn't it? Especially when you checked over the engine and everything else in between. The downfall of it was that basically the timing belt was fairly new on that engine when I bought it. It was just getting taken out of a Subaru that just was not well with the dreaded rot. It just got to a point where that car had to come off the road. So, like I say, good engine. Dreading myself because I've only ever done a handful of timing belts, and they've always been on a vehicle with just one head. Subarus, because they're a flat four, they've got dual heads. So you've got a single cam heads, or you've got your dual overhead cam heads, which are your turbo ones, or your bigger naturally aspirated, like your 3 litres, which you find more in Legacies, etc., and Foresters. So yeah, I thankfully had spare parts off my old engine. The water pump on the old engine was brand new pretty much, again with a decent belt. But I went out and bought a brand new belt just because I thought we'll get that out of the way. Yeah, so get everything sorted, get it all bang on. I retimed it. Everything seemed great because, again, with timing, as you know yourself, you're always best to crank it over a few times, make sure everything lines back up. As far as I was concerned, everything lined back up, even though I was dreading it. I even got a couple of second opinions, well, a second and a third opinion from people who obviously are car orientated as well. They said it looked all bang on. Like, great, brilliant, perfect. Kicked it over, not a problem. Car ran great, purred like a kitten again. Obviously, temp gauge was working perfectly. It sat where it needed to be. Yeah. So again, a couple of weeks down the line after I had to retime my car because obviously I had to change the water pump. We were going to do a little overtake. We weren't going stupid speeds. We were actually going down a dual carriageway. It's a limited 50 mph zone, and it ended up going. It turns into a 60 zone then as well. So go to overtake. Didn't even drop a gear really or anything else like that. Just go to overtake. Again, not trying to rag the car either because the clutch was still bedding in at this time. I think it did about 600 miles at this point on that clutch. Go to do this overtake. And now people who work on their own cars know their car. It's a fact. And then I felt something drop. It basically dropped in power and it changed the pitch. So, again, Subaru owners will probably know what I'm talking about with it, where a single overhead cam unit like mine is quite a bit of a higher pitch of the flat 4 noise to the opposed pitch of a flat 4 dual overhead cam engine, like what you'd find on your turbo, well, basically what you would find in your turbo models. And mine started sounding like a turboed version, even though it's not turbo. Again, very down on power. It was rocking like mad, so something was telling me something had dropped in a cylinder. It was just, yeah, it was heartbreaking really because we did the work and then it did that. So we never sadly found out what was wrong with that engine. Apart from it looked like it was running really dry on one piston, so an injector could have failed or anything. Thankfully, I put better injectors in this engine, what I've got now, because I actually bought some more injectors, which are the same CC of what I originally put in, but just obviously a bit better, and they were tested. I knew they were tested, they were in good nick. So now I had the ball ache. I had to source another engine. This is COVID, by the way, times. As a lot of you have probably seen, there's been a massive fluctuation of prices for everything, especially in the Subaru world, of either the cars, the parts, yeah, basically everything, especially on these classic models. They're going through the roof at the moment for prices. Even a rotten one, you're looking at £3,000 plus now for a full rotten car. It's laughable. So basically, sourced another engine again within a couple of weeks. Obviously, I had to earn the money. Thankfully, I had the use of a couple of other vehicles through family, which was nice. Obviously, didn't really want to use them because obviously of the nature of my work. And yeah, I had again another weekend of pretty much where I've had to use a relative's driveway to use the engine crane, get the engine delivered to, use the engine crane to get the old engine out, get everything off the old engine. That was all good. Again, that I took off, that I put onto it originally. I put these new injectors in my newer engine, which I found out then was a sport special block, which is what I mentioned about earlier in the video. And then, yeah, basically it was just a case of putting it all back together. New radiator on there as well, because we noticed the other one was crabby. Gave the new engine, well, say new engine, the new heart a good service. Filters, plugs, leads, the lot. And yeah, so now that's the engine that we're currently running at the moment. I'll show you that shortly. I won't put it on because at the moment it's got a horrible little squeaky noise off the clutch fork. I need to tighten that up. Like I say, this car is never going to be perfect as of yet. It's always going to be a running project. It's an old car. It's 20 years old nearly now. Nearly qualifies for classic car insurance, even though I use it a lot as a daily. But yeah, in my eyes, if you was looking at, say, for example, something to start you out to learn on with a nice easy engine, then I would go for a Subaru, even if you can afford a turbo. If you can afford a turbo, go for a turbo, because you'll learn a lot more with them, obviously, and you'll have a lot more fun with the acceleration. This thing, like I say, it can accelerate. It does have a good mark off the line. It's just nothing like a lot of the cars nowadays, and it's definitely nothing like a lot of the turboed versions of this car. Again, especially when some of them that I've experienced are highly modified and stupid brake horsepower. And it makes this thing look like a snail, to be honest with you, when you put one up against it, like even as a laugh. It's embarrassing if you try doing it. Even if you do it as a laugh, it is very embarrassing. So yeah, that's the story of the car. Like I say, a lot of stuff still to do to it. I'll show you along the way on the journey of all the progress. Yeah, let's show you that engine. I have noticed as well I've droned on a fair bit, guys, but I thought, like I say, I wanted to try something new with the channel. Excuse me. So yeah, just basically, it's more visual mods as well, to be fair, but some of them are performance. So like I say, I've got better injectors, upgraded the air filter induction kit, I've got an oil breather system on it. Obviously, sadly, some bits I need to touch up again nowadays, but I've obviously given it my own personal touch. Bit of purple dress up kit, new updated cap for the rad, updated oil cap. Need to spray that a new colour because that's doing my head in. Costco battery brace, again, like I say, just nice dress up kits. I'm looking at getting some hoses and stuff for the car, but at the moment I'd just rather get the main amount of work done. Again, like I say, majority of it is just literally a bit of old-fashioned elbow grease and a bit of work of just modifying it to my taste. Obviously it's got better belts on it, new belt underneath there, but I'm not going to take all that off because it's a bitch. New belt on for the alternator, power steering pump off the crank. Uprated HT leads, it's got NGK spark plugs, like I say, Subaru UK 2000 light and flywheel with clutch system under there, pink XD clutch. Like I say, I've tried tightening it up with some things, but again, they just look tacky, I think, so I'm just going to fuck them off right now. Yeah, obviously you've noticed I've got a blue bumper on at the moment. That needs sorting. I need to put a better bracket on for that because that's doing my head in. Yeah, like I say, it's a good car really. A couple of bits need doing on the arches, but she's solid enough. Obviously a bit crabby there. So yeah. Bless. You'll notice I've just had a cut then. Doing the walkthrough on with the car because it's an old car. It's with the bonnet up. Bless him, a gentleman and his good lady have just pulled over, like, do you need dropping off anywhere? So I've just had to explain I'm doing a video talking to you guys. Yeah, so put that bonnet down now just so we can actually prevent that from happening again. Long story short, basically though, yeah, we're going to be upgrading suspension, so it's going to have new bush mounts for the top mounts. I'm looking at getting lowering springs on there. Sorry guys, you can have a close-up of the belt again while I put the bonnet down. So yeah, I do want a turbo bonnet, but I might not do that unless I do the compressor mod. A couple of age-related marks, a bit of a ding there. Yeah, it's just, I mean, I've had worse, MOT worse. So, but again, like I say, a bit of rust, it's always a downfall with Japanese cars. And again, it's just one of them really. You've got to have patience and a bit of, bit of time really spare. So But yeah, I've droned on for nearly 20 minutes, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the walk around and listening to the story of the wagon, or the Roofaru as I call it. If you want to watch progress of the car, then please like, subscribe, comment down below if you have any questions regarding the car. Obviously there's going to be further content coming up of the Urbex. Again, more videos of me working on the car, like I said, mainly. But I just thought, well, you've seen me working on the car. I thought I'd just do a bit of a walk around video, considering I've never really done one, which I should have probably done at the start. But yeah, like I say, welcome to my motoring hell. So let's hope you all enjoy it along the way. Well, thanks very much anyway for watching. Oh, sorry, if you do want to carry on following the progress as well of the car, if you don't see anything on YouTube, please go to Instagram and type at it's a Roofaru. Sorry, I fluffed that one up. Sorry, at it's underscore Roofaru. And like I say, in a search engine, you'll find the car. You'll probably see a picture of my ugly mug on there. But currently at the moment, Instagram's not playing ball with a lot of people apparently. So let's see if we can get back online on that one yet. But yeah, apart from that, any suggestions, any questions, just please just leave a comment down below. And thank you very much for watching. Take care.